So as you know, after NewJeans lost the injunction against Adore, and especially after the BBC and Time interview, the general public really turned against NewJeans. And naturally, a certain portion of the fandom didn't take it well. Some decided that they could no longer depend on Sejong law firm, and thus wrote these posts online, which I've talked about on this video. They said, I think we need to help Sejong. I do trust them, but I'm realizing now that trust alone isn't enough. What I felt today is cleaning up the timeline is important too, but what really matters most right now is sending Sejong any evidence that could help them. And then this post. Hello, dear bunnies. Our precious NewJeans is currently going through one of the most important legal battles of their lives. They just completed the first trial for the main lawsuit and are likely now preparing for the upcoming one. Since the court granted the injunction, NewJeans' activities have come to a halt. As fans, many of us have been reporting malicious posts and working to clean up the timeline, and that's definitely meaningful. But as things stand, I believe the most important thing right now is a trial happening right in front of us. And they said something like, that's why I'm reaching out to ask for your help. We can't just afford to sit back and hope things work out. I don't believe simply trusting Sejong, NewJeans' legal team, is enough anymore. Sejong is currently gathering as much evidence as possible to support NewJeans and secure a favorable ruling, and they attached this email address where they can report to Sejong any evidence that could be helpful. If any of you have material from the past year that could potentially help NewJeans from a legal standpoint, please consider submitting it. What you have might actually make a difference. So that's what they said, and I talked about that in this video. Back then, seeing these posts made me wonder what kind of evidence must be flooding Sejong's inbox. I was honestly curious enough to want to look through it myself if I ever have a chance. Then, just yesterday, I finally got a bit of a clue. And it all started with when a NewJeans fan posted this on X. Exposed thread. HYBE producer attacks NewJeans mascot. FRANTS is a HYBE producer for belief groups, ILLIT and source music group LESSERAFIM. He posted himself attacking Bunnies, NewJeans mascot, and wrote "I'm good," exposing this MF. This is swear word. And yeah, this is real. Like a producer named FRANTS, who's worked with HYBE, posted a silly video of himself jumping into a giant bunny plush at store. But because NewJeans mascot happened to be a bunny, some fans decided that this was a targeted act of aggression. They called it like symbolic violence. They said it was like triggering abusive, possibly illegal. Now, for context, FRANTS is a music producer and musician under Big Hit Music. He was previously with JYP, where he worked on music for Wonder Girls, GOT7, Day 6, and Twice, and others. And in 2019, he moved to Big Hit, where he's been involved in albums for BTS, TXT, N-G Friend, and more. Then, another Bunnies posted this. Violations of the Child Welfare Act. While there wasn't direct physical harm to a person, symbolically abusing a doll that represents the members and mocking it publicly can be seen as emotional abuse. Given that NewJeans members are minors, this could be considered psychological harm under Article 17, Section 5 of the Child Welfare Act, which prohibits emotional abuse. So they started compiling screenshots and sending them to the legal team at Shin & Kim, the law firm, representing NewJeans in their case against HYBE, and they publicly encourage other fans to send in evidence as well to help win the trial. And I'm not joking when I say they genuinely frame this as emotional abuse and violations of the Child Welfare Act. So here's a logic. These fans, or let's say, self-appointed prosecutors, claim that he assaulted Bunnies, the NewJeans mascot, and that counts as emotional abuse. Since the members are minors, this violates child welfare laws and maybe workplace harassment too. And these are some of the comments that these fans wrote. We're reporting him for child abuse, emotional harm, and workplace bullying. You heard it right. They seriously tried to invoke Article 17, Section 5 of the Child Welfare Act because the guy jumped into a bunny. And this particular user is a bit violent and gone way past the line, saying that, so he's a high producer. The fact that even no-name losers like this are acting out means their image cleaning campaign has already crossed the point of no return. And that sounds much more violent in Korean. I've got this effing bastard's name locked in. I'll keep an eye out and post warnings whenever his name shows up in any HYBE idol credits. And then something like this. We need to make sure he goes down in history as the first K-pop producer to get kicked out of the industry for kicking a stuffed animal. But here's where it gets kind of ironic. When other netizens, Korean internet users who are uncomfortable with the unhinged behavior of some bunnies, NewJeans fans, started digging through FRANTS social media, and they discovered something pretty unexpected. The guy genuinely loves bunnies. Rabbits. He's called bunny plushes so freaking cute, kissed the cheek of a giant bunny sculpture, and even spent an entire winter afternoon building a massive snowman, bunny-shaped snowman, and came up with this. So this guy genuinely loves rabbits and bunnies. He's a guy who just really likes rabbits. So that clip, the fans, NewJeans fans, were furious about. It honestly looks more like someone who got excited while shopping and threw himself at a giant bunny out of pure joy. But instead of recognizing this for what it was, the NewJeans fans, well, I would say some NewJeans fans, tried to twist it to fit their narrative that HYBE is an abusive company. They accused FRANTS of things as absurd as violating child protection laws, workplace harassment, and defamation, just to prop up that narrative. What's truly ironic is that this whole tantrum just made NewJeans fans look even more detached from reality again. Instead of building public sympathy after the court ruling, they turned around and cried assault over a plush toy, if you think about it. And once again, they're the ones who ended up ridiculed. And yeah, the internet wasn't having it. Most people pushed back hard by writing these comments, which I have translated like these. LOL, the fans are seriously hilarious. They're always yelling about how other idol groups have crazy fans, and now look who's the biggest clown. I have seen my fair share of delusional fans, but this group is something else. Usually calling someone a lunatic fan is just a figure of speech. But some of these people honestly need treatment. The way they go after ILLIT's manager, the building security guards, and now even this HYBE producer. Seriously, how many normal people have to suffer? Please, for the love of God, go get help. They're so obsessed, and when it says normal people, it means like non-celebrities. They're so obsessed with being victims, they're turning every minor incident into a full-blown national security threat. It's giving black comedy at this point. Straight up insane group. At first, I thought, wait, that bunny's connected to NewJeans? Turns out it's just a plushie sold at an open store. Actually, not in an open store inside HYBE. This is a wrong translation, just a random open store. The producer, he just loves bunnies. Probably saw a big plush at the store, got excited, and dove into it like it was a beanbag. Then suddenly NewJeans fans go and report it under the Child Welfare Act. Imagine how confused he must have been. Let me see the original writing. Yeah, so they thought that when they first watched the clip, they thought that that giant plush was inside a high building, but no, it was just an open store thingy. What else? FYI, this guy has never been produced, never even produced for ILLIT or LESSERAFIM, but they're trying to link him anyway. LMAO. Yeah, so I searched through his credits, and it seems like he has never worked with ILLIT. He has one song that he produced, which is for LESSERAFIM Smartest Remix, and that's it. But yeah, they nevertheless tried so hard to drag LESSERAFIM and ILLIT once again into this whole controversy. Nobody plays the victim harder than bunnies. How many people have this they falsely accused by now? They really need to calm down. At this rate, they'll be calling the color blue NewJeans' intellectual property. Turns out he's just someone who freaking loves bunnies. Please get a grip ready. He's just someone who likes cute stuff. Even the video doesn't look aggressive. It's literally just him being excited. Are we really out here attacking people for liking plush toys now? Is this gonna be presented as a 12th reason for breach of contract? It looks more like he just really loves plushies. Doesn't seem like he was hitting anything. What's the big deal? He probably just likes giant plushies and was hugging it out of joy. He might not have even realized it was connected to NewJeans. But hey, when you're deep into victim mentality, I guess this is where you end up. Child Welfare Act, LMAO. What kind of legal reach is that? He was literally showing affection to the bunny and they're trying to submit it as evidence of abuse. The producer must have been so confused. He was obviously reaching to a cute character. These fans are beyond delusional. The way they're swearing at him is disgusting. I hope he sues. Sue them all. What even is this fandom? The group and the fandom, both absolute legends in self-destruction. So yeah, while going through the comments, I came across something interesting. First off, once again, the NewJeans fans who were trying to witch hunt FRANTS claimed he was a producer for ILLIT and LESSERAFIM. But, like I said, when you actually look at his credits, he's never worked with ILLIT, and his only connection to LESSERAFIM is doing a remix of one song, Smart. That's it. Yet, they went on social media saying he was part of ILLIT and LESSERAFIM producer team and used that as justification to direct hate towards those groups too. Even more ironic is that this same producer, FRANTS, has publicly congratulated NewJeans when they debuted in 2022. He literally posted a story saying, "Congrats on debut, you guys look amazing." In 2023, he even took a photo of a NewJeans billboard for their second EP, Get Up, and shared it on his Instagram as a fan, just someone who appreciates music and cute aesthetics. And now, the same guy is being treated as like a predator for hugging a bunny plush. So now, imagine being that guy, someone who openly supported the group, and suddenly, these fans are trying to report you for violating child welfare laws. It's hard to even wrap your head around how absurd and shocking that must have felt. So no wonder people were mocking the whole thing online. The response on Korean forums like Tokku was instant. People calling it a witch hunt, calling out the fans' delusions, and just wondering how we got here. And apparently, some of the NewJeans fans themselves started noticing the backlash too. Like one fan wrote in their own community, "If you're going to report something, just report it quietly. Don't post about it. Publicizing it only helps the other side prepare. Stop blowing it up and drawing attention." So you would think, maybe, just maybe, that meant they realized this whole thing had gotten out of hand. But no, they weren't really apologizing for the false accusation. They weren't backing down from trying to take this man down for hugging a plushie. They were just annoyed that they got caught and now the narrative wasn't going their way. So they probably doubled down on sending more evidence to the lawyers, hoping that something would stick. Which leads me to wonder, once again, what must it be like to be a lawyer at Shin & Kim these days? Like waking up, checking your inbox, and finding email like this. Subject: urgent evidence, emotional abuse via bunny doll. Attachment: FRANTS jump.mov. And the sad thing is, as ridiculous as this all is, we have already seen that if enough fans scream loud enough, and if the media picks up on it, even nonsense can become national news. Even fiction can reach the National Assembly. Just look at what happened with Honey. She ended up testifying about workplace harassment at a government audit because an ILLIT manager supposedly told the members to ignore her. That's the kind of mess we are talking about, and we've been talking about. Whether or not, if you think about it, whether or not FRANTS actually hit the bunny plush is beside the point. Just like it doesn't really matter whether the ILLIT manager actually said ignore her. what's truly absurd is that in both cases, people try to slap on serious accusations like violating child welfare laws or workplace harassment, and one of them even made it all the way to the National Assembly hearing. That alone is laughable. And as we know now, the ignore her line, it was fabricated by Minijin. It never happened in the first place, yet that lie sparked headlines and public outrage. And this is the same playbook we have seen over and over again. Take a fake or exaggerated problem, blow it up, stir controversy, and use it to attack HYBE and its artists. It's what Minijin, some bunnies, NewJeans themselves in court, and even their parents have been doing all along. So this isn't really just a funny incident anymore. It's a pattern. It's a coordinated strategy of smearing people with fake claims, blowing up minor incidents into moral panics, and even using those narratives to attack HYBE artists and anything that doesn't align with their chosen side. It happened with 무시해, ignore her. It sort of happened with bunny abuse, but failed due to the pure ridiculousness. And let me guess, it will happen again because no one is holding them accountable. Not the fans, not the media, not even the people orchestrating it from behind the scenes, if there is any. So yeah, this is pretty funny, but it's also not, because we have seen where this kind of madness can lead, like we have seen last year. And the next time they cry wolf, it might not be over a plush toy. And yesterday, when this whole thing was happening, post title like HYBE producer uploads Instagram video hitting NewJeans Mascot started popping up across multiple forums all at once. So I feel like, I don't know, we need to stay alert. Strangely enough, Korean media, those pro-NewJeans, pro-Minijin side did not pick up on this, probably because it was too nonsense, too ridiculous. And one more thing, very ironically, today, just a few minutes before I started filming this video, there are reports saying that the court dismissed NewJeans' objection to the injunction decision. So it seems like all this evidence that Bunnies sent to Sejong law firm were not that useful. If there is further information about the court decision, I'll make a separate video about that. But yeah, I feel like this fandom will continue to do their best to smear others, and we need to stay alert. Even though it seems like legally speaking, the game is over, but we'll see what they're be up to in the future. All right, let's discuss. As always, when you comment, feel free to add your own opinions. But as always, let's stay positive, respectful, and classy. Thank you guys. Peace and love. Bye-bye.